Hello, my name is Yvan. I'm painter and illustrator. I like to use black ink and illustrate stories and books. In this video, we will do an easy and fun exercise about a postcard. We will create a postcard with a personalized text and flowers around it. We will use watercolor pencils, and for the text, I chose to write the words "Daily Kiss." But you can draw and write what you want. Before I show you the material needed for the illustration, let me tell you the steps we will achieve during this exercise. So step number 1, gather the material needed for the illustration. Step number 2, draw a quick sketch for the composition. Step number 3, add the text in the middle of your postcard. Step number 4, add the flowers around it. Then add the stems and the leaves. Step number 6, add the colors inside the background. Step number 7, outline the elements with black ink. And step number 8 is optional, improve the colors and the luminosity on your graphic tablet. So for this exercise, you will need firstly a pencil and an eraser. Then you will need a small brush for the outline and a bigger brush to spread the water on the colors, or you can use also a water brush. Then you will need a ruler to create the frame of your postcard and a curved ruler for the stems. That would be great if you have one. Also watercolor pencils and a bottle of liquid black ink or a Chinese stone if you want to create your own ink like me. And then you will need papers, so one sheet of thick white paper for the illustration, for example this one, or also you need a sheet of carbon paper for the transfer and a sheet of tracing paper also for the transfer. But if you don't have those special papers, you can also copy your elements by watching them on your phone. Also, you will need a camera to take photos of flowers and text outside, and a printer to print those sheets of paper. In the end, you will also need a graphic tablet if you choose to improve your illustration with software. I use the software Affinity Designer, where I can improve the colors and the luminosity of my illustration. So now I think this is it for the material, and we will start the exercise. Now it's time to go outside and to take photos of flowers and text. For the flowers, it is better if you are able to imagine how you want to use them in your illustration, so you know how to take the photo correctly. Or you can also take photos and then improvise. Make sure that you have enough photos so you have plenty of choices afterward. Take photos with different angles and perspectives so you can choose afterward. Make sure that you have for this exercise about 6 photos of flowers. And now for the text, you can also go outside and look for text on panels, advertisings, or on trucks. I found my words on trucks here. Usually I see a word with a nice typography outside, and I start to look for words I could write with the letters I'm looking at. And even if I don't have all the letters I want for the words I want to write for my postcard, I can transform a letter into another one. For example, if I want to write daily kiss with those letters, I have almost all the letters, but I don't have the Y, so I will transform the U into a Y. In my opinion, not relying on the internet, but rather what you find outside is more logical because it forces you to connect with your local environment. So once you have your photos, you can organize them in a software, and that's what I will show you now. And now what I will do, when I have taken the photos outside of flowers and text, I will import them into the software pages and create various pictures of my flowers and text in different sizes. So firstly I change the size, then I copy it and resize it. I copy and resize it several times because I don't know exactly the size I need for my project. So then I will choose another flower, and if I double click on the image, I can crop the picture, and then I put it where I want in my page. I make it bigger several times, and same for the text. I will import my text, and here are the letters I need for the postcard if I want to write daily kiss, and then I copy it, frame it with the letters I need to write the words daily kiss, and then I make it bigger several times. And when I am satisfied with the document, I can export it into a PDF, and then I print it. And now that you have printed the flowers and text you need for your illustration, you can draw a quick sketch for the composition. So firstly, figure out where you want to add the flowers, and here are the flowers. I will draw this one on the left, and also in the corners I will choose this picture. You can also choose similar flowers and simply change the orientation if you want. Try to make the choices consciously and with meaning. And now for the text, I will write it in the middle, so with the letters here, daily kiss. And now what you can do is to choose the colors. I need also to add the leaves on the stems. If you are not satisfied with your sketch, you can also redraw the parts you want to change. So now let's start the postcard. And firstly, I will split my page in two, and then I will draw two lines in the middle of my postcard, one at 5 centimeters and one at 9 centimeters. And here I will write the word daily kiss. So I need for that one sheet of tracing paper that I will put on my postcard, and then draw two horizontal lines on it. And at the beginning of that line I will write the first letter of my word, so D. And if I don't have the letter in my word, I will create one from another one. For the Y, I will use the U. So make sure that the whole space looks harmonious, the space between the letters and the space inside the letters should be in balance. Then I will continue with the word kiss, so I put it in the middle of the first word. I start with the first letter and then I continue with the other ones. And then we can see how it looks like on the postcard, and if you are satisfied with it, you can put the carbon paper under the tracing paper and then simply press on the outline of your letters. Here it's how it looks like, and now I will add the colors inside my letters. I will use a dark blue for the upper part, and then I will use a lighter blue for the lower part. And here is the best part, the one I prefer. I will take some water and spread it on the colors. So it creates a gradient. It can be also interesting to add an aura around the letters. So I will simply imagine the space where I have to let the paper lighter. According to your sketch, imagine where the flowers will be placed on your postcard. And you can also draw a vertical line and put the flowers along that line. So according to the sketch, I will draw 3 flowers on each side of the text and 1 under it. Pay attention to the general aspect of your composition and the whole shape of it, also the space in between the elements. So first I take the first flower and place it next to my text, and then I will put the tracing paper under it and I press on the outline of the flower. So the flower will be transferred on the paper underneath. I will repeat that for the other flowers. In the end, you can add the colors on them and water them. And then add the stems. You can use a curved ruler if you want. And here I've printed photos of leaves, so I will transfer those leaves on the stems. Maybe you still have some space for 1 or 2 character faces on your postcard. If so, you can put your tracing paper on your illustration and then draw 1 or 2 character faces where you still have space. and then you can take the carbon paper and transfer it on your postcard. And then you can add some strokes in the background, and I will draw some strokes with 4 different colors: orange, pink, yellow and blue. With the yellow I will create an aura around my flowers, and for the strokes, firstly I draw a little square at the bottom of my postcard, and then with my brush and water I will take the color from that square and start to draw the strokes in my background like this. And now you can take the black ink and do the outline everywhere around the elements, the stems, the flowers, the leaves and the letters. You can add the shadows on the left side of your elements and with the black watercolor pencils. So you create a gradient and the black will blend in the background. And now I'm pressing with the orange pencil everywhere where there is white spaces, so I can make the colors even more intense. And then you can take your postcard and put it in a place where there is an excellent natural light and take a picture of it. Then you can send it to your computer, improve the contrast, change the luminosity and also add some colors if needed. So first you can open the software Affinity and create a document with the print option and size A5. Then you can select the landscape orientation with CMYK colors and then click on OK. Then you can place your image from your library and resize it inside your Canva. And when I want to improve a color, I select the color in my drawing with the pipette and then I paint on that color with a brush. So I select the color I want to take with the pipette and then I click on the brush tool, and with a width of about 20 pixels I paint again in the area where the color is. And if you think that there is too much black, for example around the elements, you can also take the colors in the background and then with a width of about 50 pixels press on the shadows to make them a little bit smaller. And here I'm using a natural pencil 4B. And I will continue to fill my background with little strokes of the colors of the background until I'm satisfied. And in the end, I will take a very light yellow like this and change the hardness of my brush at 70%, and then I can illuminate a little bit the parts around my elements to make them brighter. And in the end, I will also change a little bit the levels and raise the black at 7-8% and raise the gamma also to have a little bit less contrast. Great, good job. You made the illustration. And here is how it looks like. You can now print it, send it to a friend, or hang it on your wall. You can also post it on your social medias. Now I will quickly sum up what we've done in that class. We've gathered the material for the illustration, then we wrote the text on our postcard, then we drew the flowers around it, and we have filled the background with the 4 different colors, and at the end we ended up by improving the illustration with the graphic tablet. So I hope you enjoyed my class, and for sure I will do other videos. Please continue to watch them, and I'm looking forward to see you in another class. See you, bye bye.